Hey, AFCM family. This is Chris Dietsche. I, along with my wife, pastor Oasis Community Church in central Wisconsin. Go Pack Go! And I am bringing you today's word of encouragement. So when my wife and I took over our church about 5 years ago or so, we thought everything was going to be perfect. Everyone was going to love us. We were in ministry. Everything was going to go according to plan. Well, that didn't happen. Most of you know that the best laid plans often don't succeed. And the Lord started dealing with me around not giving up because I got very discouraged. And he took me to Micah chapter 7, verse 8, which in the Amplified says, "Rejoice not against me, O my enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light to me." And he started speaking to me about getting back up when you fall down. That sometimes you're doing everything right, you're believing in faith, you're speaking the word of God, and sometimes things don't turn out the way that you wanted them to. But you have to keep going. You can't give up. Most of people know that Babe Ruth was called the home run king. In 1923, he broke the all-time home run record for a single season. What most people don't know is also in 1923, he broke another record. That was the single season strikeout record. He was known for swinging for the fences, and he didn't let striking out stop him from swinging at next time he was at bat. Thomas Edison, who's also one of my favorite people I like to study, is quoted as saying, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to just try one more time." He also said many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. In Hebrews chapter 6, verse 11, in the Amplified, it says, "But we do strongly and earnestly desire for each of you to show the same diligence and sincerity all the way through in realizing and enjoying the full assurance and development of your hope until the end, in order that you may not grow disinterested and become spiritual sluggards, but imitators, behaving as do those who through faith, by their leaning of the entire personality on God, in absolute trust and confidence in his power, wisdom, and goodness, and by practice of patient endurance and waiting, are now inheriting the promises." That word patience, because some translations say faith and patience are now inheriting the promise. That word patience means patience, endurance, constancy, steadfastness, and perseverance. If you look those up, perseverance means persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Constancy means the quality of being enduring and unchanging. And the Lord started dealing with me that even though we might be doing everything correct, sometimes things don't work out. We have to keep doing it. You can't give up. You have to stay on the word. You keep speaking the word. You keep in faith. You keep believing. Along the highway, one of the highways here, there's one of my favorite bulletins. It's a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and I can't even remember what the bulletin is advertising. Billboard, not a bulletin, but it's Abraham Lincoln. And it says, "Failed, failed, failed, and then persistence." Most people don't know this, but Abraham Lincoln is, the 16th president, or was the 16th president, and he's considered by many one of the best presidents ever. Most people don't know that he tried to run for office multiple times before and failed. And then he ran for the highest office in our land, and he was man appointed for such a time as this. He didn't give up. He refused to give up. There's a story in John chapter 5 that I want to share with you. This is where Jesus heals the man by the pool of Bethesda. And it's interesting. It says, starting in verse 2, it says, "Now there was in Jerusalem a pool near the sheep gate. This pool in Hebrew is called Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great number of sick folk, some blind, some crippled, some paralyzed, waiting for the bubbling up of the water. For an angel of the Lord went down at appointed seasons into the pool and moved and stirred the water. And whoever then was first after the stirring up of the water stepped in, and he was cured of whatever disease with which he was afflicted. There was a certain man there who had suffered with a deep-seated and lingering disorder for 38 years. When Jesus noticed him laying there helpless, knowing that he had already been a long time in that condition, he said to him, 'Do you want to become well?' And the Amplified adds, 'Are you really earnest about getting well?'" Well, that's interesting, because why would the guy have been there anyway, right? Jesus knew he had been in this condition for a long time. And the man said in verse 7, "The invalid answered, 'Sir, I have nobody when the water is moving to put me into the pool. But while I'm trying to come into it myself, Somebody else steps down ahead of me. And Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your bed, your sleeping pad, and walk. And instantly the man became well. It's interesting that Jesus would ask him, do you even want to become well? I believe what Jesus saw in him was that he had given up. After 38 years of being in that condition, I know myself, I would have found a way. If I had to roll myself into that pool and just wait by the end and just plop myself in when I saw the water stirring, I would have found a way. Jesus knew that that man on the inside had stopped trying. He had given up. And as Thomas Edison said, the surest way to succeed is just to try one more time. There's a lot of Christians who are sitting on the 1 yard line. They don't realize how close to breakthrough that they are, but they give up. And this is one of the tools that the enemy uses against us. If he can get us to stop trying, we'll never succeed. I just want to encourage you today, keep going. Don't look at your failures as failures. They're just stepping stones to success. Yeah, things might not work out the way you wanted them to. Most of the time, they don't. Most of the things in my life haven't worked out exactly the way that I wanted them to. But the Lord has used all those different failures and those different steps, the progress that I've made and the things that I've learned along the way. He's turned those around for good. And things that have fallen in place for me. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up. Keep going. Stay strong. Do what you know to do. Stay in the Word. Keep praying. Keep speaking the Word. Keep believing. We'll talk to you later.